Speaking of the anti-BDS laws, can you talk about how you got caught up in one of those laws in the state of Georgia? And I understand there's been some sort of update with that case today. Could you talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. I have some great news, everyone. We successfully got the law struck down. So it's not formally struck down. That needs to come with whether or not the state legislature will appeal the judge's decision. But it is officially deemed unconstitutional by the judge in Georgia. And this is due to my legal effort. I was engaged in litigation for the last year and a half to sue the state of Georgia over its anti BDS law. I was slated to give a keynote speech at Georgia Southern University a year and a half ago, and I was told that I needed to sign a contract that said that I promised to never boycott the state of Israel. Of course, I could not comply with this. I am a staunch advocate for BDS and a staunch anti-racist and pro-Palestinian solidarity activist for my entire political career. I had just made this documentary which advocates BDS at the end of it. How could I possibly comply with this? And so, of course, I refused. I sued the state of Georgia. And what's shocking is that, you know, more than half of the states in this country have similar types of laws on the books. And I think that a lot of people would be completely alarmed to find that um, these laws mandate you to sign a fealty pledge to a foreign country. You know, we hear all this stuff about Russian interference in our democracy. Well, this is a foreign country literally asking American citizens to forfeit their constitutional rights in order to work in these states. So, of course, I mean, they need to be challenged legally, and they have been in several states: Arkansas, Texas, Wisconsin. In almost every single case, the judge finally, when it gets to the judge's hands, they have deemed it to be unconstitutional. However, in the state of Georgia, this has taken so long that I do think that the judge declaring this law unconstitutional today, right on the heels of everything that we're talking about, Amar, really shows you something. I think that this is hugely symbolic, and I do think the judge felt pressure due to exactly what we're saying right now. Just like Joe Biden, right? The public consciousness has shifted, the political pressure is mounting, and I do think that this is an untenable thing. Judges know where the right side of history lies on this issue, and they understand the Constitution. And so I do think that this is a huge victory, not only for BDS, but the movement in terms of the education movement and the fact that these politicians will feel the fear, right? And we have to make their lives uncomfortable. They have to basically not have a moment of peace until they fall on the right side of this. And I do think that this judge in this case did factor in what just happened over the last 2 weeks into his decision, and he made the right one. And now no one else can be given this contract in Georgia anymore.
What makes you think that the judge factored that stuff in? Did he say anything? Did he make any sort of comment or?
No, but the fact that I waited a year and a half for the verdict and the fact that it happened today, I mean, the timing is a little bit coincidental. Wouldn't you say that
Wow.
after this vicious onslaught in Gaza, after Israel Palestine is such a hot topic in the news right now, and that everyone's kind of aware of what's going on, the fact that the verdict finally came in today, I do find it pretty monumental, and I do find it significant, and I think that it did have to do with what just happened. But that's just speculation.
Definitely, and congratulations on that, and congratulations to all of us who want peace and justice in throughout the world. And thank you for leading that charge because you know it's really important, of course. So some people were asking though in terms of that Georgia BDS law, like the
Mm-hmm.
kind of technicalities of it. Was it a federal judge or a state judge? And so you said the Georgia legislature has the right to appeal. So would that be within state court or federal court? Could you just talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I forget that there's several layers of like the court, the appellate and circuit, and then of course it goes to the Supreme Court. But if the Georgia state legislature appeals the judge's decision, then and if that and so once the appeal happens, if it does, whatever that ruling is, if it differs from what this judge said, then those mixed rulings could go to the Supreme Court next. So there's one more step that needs to happen, and that's whether the legislature basically agrees with the judge's ruling. I think that they will, But we don't know. I mean, it would be pretty audacious if they said, no, we still want to fight this, but you never know. I mean, we know that once I filed the lawsuit, an Israeli consulate official actually went to the Georgia state legislature to try to advocate to change the law to make my case moot. So they wanted to keep the law in the books. They just wanted to throw my case out to change the law. So there's a lot of effort going into this state specifically. But as far as I know, there is, there's two options of where this could go. One is the legislature just saying, okay, we lost, and then just formally striking the law down, and that's it, throwing it away. Or they could challenge it and say, we want to fight this. And if that happens, my legal team is ready, willing and ready to continue that fight. And we will continue that fight. And I do think that we will end up victorious. But it could be interesting to see if these mixed rulings actually do take it to the Supreme Court, because then it's going to be, then the Supreme Court, of course, will lay down the law that would supersede all of these states' rulings on the anti-BDS measure. So it's going to be interesting to see where it goes.